The first lesson learned was a company level and came from Brazil, where Jorge Canario spoke of diminishing competitive advantages of firms that operated in Brazil that were forced to start expanding globally. Looking at the competitive advantage framework, Brazil firms were losing economic profitability locally as market conditions such as legal restrictions, cost positions, and value created versus competitors, which speaks to the increase of more competition with a lower cost basis and the resultant loss of market share due to substitution. Therefore, Brazilian firms who were previously not internationalized were now starting to realize the value in operating in global environments as returns and favorable conditions diminished locally. We sometimes think that global expansion is expensive and cumbersome. It might be the only way for a firm to penetrate new markets and remain profitable. The story of Peter van Kurtz touched me on a personal level. From crossing the Atlantic in a kayak to racing to the South Pole, his resilience in those journeys needed him to struggle, sacrifice, and suffer. I asked myself, what am I passionate about enough to be able to endure all the trials and tribulations to achieve it? Too many times I've lacked the grit and discipline to complete what I've set out to achieve. I have to start building processes and small milestones towards my bigger goal rather than letting myself lose my purpose due to the fear of not being able to achieve that goal. The third and final lesson, which will be at country level, which I'll delve deeper into and also relate to a South African context, is how Ireland attracts and retains foreign direct investment, as presented by Rebecca Skeffington. Ireland is not an economy that one would say is rich in mineral resources. However, strong focus on its knowledge economy by aligning their educational systems and providers of skill sets thereof required by companies who invest in their economy. This is coupled with the fact that Ireland has a high percentage of young adults with some sort of third level qualification, which makes Ireland an attractive country for foreign direct investments, as its government prioritizes the development of talent to meet the labor demands of these companies. Ireland also seems to have favorable policies towards firms which allow companies to take advantage of competitive corporate tax rates, which are as low as 12.5%, and which give full access to the European Union financial and labor markets purely by being domiciled in Ireland. The IDA in Ireland acts as a sort of intermediary between the government and foreign-owned policies by ensuring that there are little to no barriers structurally that would impede firms in setting up and growing in Ireland. Further to that, it facilitates and manages different grants to aid development for firms. According to the Economic Times, Ireland has emerged as one of the leading global centers for research, development, and innovations. And at the heart of this approach is lessons that could be learned from a South African perspective, which are being open to global markets, investments in education skills, and leveraging membership to a regional or economic grouping, which South Africa already belongs to in the form of BRICS. A competitive and consistent, transparent corporate tax regime and the creation of environment where people want to live and work is important. Ireland as a country offers an ideal commercial, political, and social environment for countries to operate successfully. While South African environment can structurally create a better environment for foreign direct investment, it somehow lags far behind in the ideal in these three types of environments.